Alex, I want to make my ex regret losing me and take me back. Okay. I had reached out to an old sugar daddy of mine, asked him for a loan to start a business, and he agreed. Good for you, girl. That's what I'm talking about. That's what sugar daddies are for. When I told my boyfriend, he flipped out and broke up with me suddenly. Let's keep reading. No. You never tell a boyfriend of yours that your sugar daddy gave you money for a business, because he's immediately gonna think, okay, what does he get in return? You wanna know why? Because men know that men don't just give money to people out of the kindness of their hearts. All right, that not even Martin Luther King will give you money just for the sake of it. So in his mind, he thinks that, look, people have an inherent understanding that nothing is ever really free. So him breaking up with you, it's just him assuming, okay, this girl is back to her sugar daddy, and I don't know what's gonna happen from now on, but that's what he's assuming. But let's keep reading. He refuses to talk to me. It's been 5 days. I'm trying to act calm. I've reached out 3 times and no response. First of all, whenever somebody breaks up with you, the last thing you want to do is beg to get them back. Robert Greene, let her know.
By acknowledging a petty problem, you give it existence and credibility. The more attention you pay an enemy, the stronger you make him. And a small mistake is often made worse and more visible when you try to fix it. It is sometimes best to leave things alone. If there is something you want but cannot have, show contempt for it. The less interest you reveal, the more superior you seem.
See what I'm talking about? You never do that. No response. I don't know how long to wait before I just move on. I want to keep the door open in case he comes back. Do I drop his stuff at his house and ask for my stuff? Yes, that's what you do. When you get dumped, what you want to do is it's like dying. You want to die with dignity. You don't want people to say, oh, when he died, he cried like a little bitch, begging for his life. No, you want to go out with your head high, so that whenever they think back to you, they don't think back to you as though you were begging like on your knees, because that's not a good look. You know what I'm saying? You have to think long term. You have to play the long game. Whenever you start begging to get someone back, it's because you're acting without planning. You're acting without thinking straight. You're acting out of emotion. And that type of behavior only pushes people away, only makes people lose respect for you. And a lot of the times, your value as a woman, a lot of the times, in the beginning, it is how you look. But over time, it's all about how much they respect you. Like, respect is the measure of your worth in the person's eye. If the person cannot respect you because you begged, like, they'll be like, yo, like, I thought you were worth more. Why are you begging?
A strong presence will draw power and attention to you. You shine more brightly than those around you. But a point is inevitably reached where too much presence creates the opposite effect. The more you are seen and heard from, the more your value degrades. You become a habit. No matter how hard you try to be different, subtly, without your knowing why, people respect you less and less. At the right moment, you must learn to withdraw yourself before they unconsciously push you away. It is a game of hide and seek.
It's just not a good look. You know what I'm saying? Especially if they don't call you, if they don't respond after the second time, then the second time, then the third time. Girl, you have to, when somebody is the one that breaks it off with you, you have to be the one that walks away. For example, there was a story of this merchant. His name was Bragadino, right? And Bragadino was an alchemist. He was a scam artist. And the city of this, I forgot what city of of Italy. Long story short, he was living off of them, and because he was living off of them, they were asking him to do alchemy. He was like, "Yeah, I'll do alchemy. I'll turn base metal into gold, but you got to give me time." And then they started questioning him. They started asking whether or not he was really the real deal. You know what he did? Rather than him beg to convince them, he just left. He just walked away. Right when they began questioning him, which is gaslighting to be honest with you, he just walked away. And you know what they did? They ran after him and begged. So sometimes you have to, in your mind, imagine the inevitable, and that's that they're going to leave you, and so that when that happens, it doesn't catch you by surprise. You should always plan to leave with dignity. Always plan to leave with dignity. I think it was Julius Caesar when he died, when he got killed and betrayed. He was one of the people who had one of the best like liners, like before dying. He was like, "You too." Something like he died. He was like, "Oh my God, you too. You also betrayed me." Almost as though he planned it out. Always plan to the end. Always plan all the way to the end. And when somebody breaks up with you, imagine how that would be. How do you want to go out? Because if you don't plan it out, you're going to act out of emotion. And that's going to lower your value. If you really want a second chance with someone, always imagine how they're going to break up with you in the most unexpected circumstance. And always have a plan to go out with dignity. Always go out with dignity.
The ending is everything. Plan all the way to it, taking into account all the possible consequences, obstacles, and twists of fortune that might reverse your hard work and give the glory to others. By planning to the end, you will not be overwhelmed by circumstances, and you will know when to stop. Gently guide fortune and help determine the future by thinking far ahead. Transgression of the law.
That's how you keep the door open. I want to keep the door open in case he comes back. Do I drop his stuff off? Yes, drop it off. You should always initiate everything. Drop it off. Or better yet, have somebody else drop it off and say, "I guess we're done since you refuse to talk to me." Look, you don't have to state the obvious. Sometimes it's better not to say nothing. Sometimes it's better to go out in silence and in dignity. Do I leave my stuff at his house for a few weeks or months? No, go pick it up. Or not saying nothing. Do I just start dating? Exactly. Go out and date. Like I always say, a man's biggest competition is other men. Other men are a man's biggest competition. And if you don't let him see other men, if you show him by just moving on and dating other people, if he cannot see that, that just makes your value look even lower. In his mind, he should think that you have such high value that as soon as he leaves you, somebody else is gonna not hop on, but you know what I'm talking about. Somebody else is gonna get with you. It's like somebody who has high qualifications and everyone wants to employ them, right? As soon as you fire them, what do you think is gonna happen? Somebody else is gonna hire them instantly. But if you keep begging, imagine you fire someone from your job and the person comes back begging for you to hire them again. What does that make you think? It makes you think this person doesn't have options. If you want somebody to hire you again after they fired you, the best thing to do is to let them fire you and walk away and get a better position. That's like the best thing to do. He is literally the man of my dreams, except he doesn't have any money. But you know what? I understand, right? It means he is a great guy. But this is why you should have not told him that, man. I mean, what made you think that was gonna work? Look, even if the guy says, "I don't mind if you get a sugar daddy for the sake of money," never believe guys. Never believe what they say, because they're always gonna react another way. It's like sometimes I even tell women this. Like if they ask me, Like not now, but before I used to ask them because I was pretty dumb and immature. I used to ask them, so how many guys you been with, which is pretty stupid. They'll tell me the answer, and in my mind, I'll tell them I don't mind, but I did mind. People say they don't mind, but they do mind. Like so it's kind of like men are naturally insecure, right? So if they know you've been with a lot of dudes, or if they know you're talking to an ex, no matter how many times they tell you they don't mind, they will mind. That's just how people are. Maybe they think they don't mind, but once their eyes see it or hear it, the jealousy, the envy could be so deep that they won't be able to get over it. And I praise him all the time for the progress he's making. No, he's not the man, but he is, okay, he's not the man of my dream because he doesn't. No, he is literally the man of my dreams, except for he doesn't have any money. But he is working really hard to change that. And I praise him all the time for the progress he's making. Look, man, I understand, but it's kind of like, you know, like, I hope that guy gives you your 10K, right? But you should have never told him that. You should have never told him that, you know? And it's kind of like, you just should never told him that. And also it's because he doesn't make that much money. He's also insecure at the fact that you had to go to an old sugar daddy for money. So you hurt his ego also. So you know what? Maybe he will come back actually, because when you hurt somebody's ego, it's like a reptile. It recovers, right? Egos recover over time. So he might come back. But if he does come back, you're going to have to, one, apologize to him. Even though you already did apologize to him. And then set your standards and say, look, man, it's okay to break up with me, but don't ignore me like that ever again. Like don't just apologize and not have any standards. Apologize and say, look, I understand what I did was wrong, but at least have the decency to at least respond to me. Most likely he will come back, in my opinion. He will come back. Because egos recover. Because, you know, if he had a decent amount of money, you know, like an average amount of money, it wouldn't hurt. But I just think it was the fact that you went to an ex for asking for money. When he knows deep down he doesn't make that much money. You're pretty much saying, hey, I know you're broke, so I had to ask for money. It's not a good look. My love, listen, man, you have to... next time you have to see this, you have to think a little bit more ahead. You know what I'm saying? Because this is just not how you do it. You know, like it's just not how you do it. So just keep living your life. Live your life. Date other people. You know, dress nice, look nice, post good things on Instagram. I don't know if he watches you, but naturally, when people regret losing you, they usually start regretting. You see, time changes things, right? And most likely he broke up with you because his ego hurt. And whenever people break up with you out of an emotional decision, they usually regret it. Like, people regret things, but when people break up with you, not because you did something wrong, but out of the blue, like you're like, I thought things were great, and they were like, well, you know, I've been thinking many months from now, and I just don't think this is working out. Those are the ones that don't come back, when they slowly lose interest. But the quick ones, because you do something wrong or unfortunately you cheat on them, a lot of the times they regret it because it was just an emotional decision. It's almost like when people say, I quit doing drugs, right? Because maybe they went to jail or something happened. A lot of the times they go back, right? Because it was just an emotional and a momentary decision. Or when people say, I hate you, right? Or when kids tell their parents, I wish you die, right? It's like, no, they don't wish you die. They were just emotional in that moment, and they will usually get over it. But if they wish you died out of months of contemplating it, then that's a problem. Anyways, man, hope this question made sense. And by the way, people, we have released my course, Emotional Mastery. So you could purchase it in the description down below. It's the basic course. It's $199, and then we have more bonuses that you could purchase. It's a 5-week course on how to apply meditation to your daily life, right? It's nothing like you've ever heard before, right? And you have a 14-day money back guarantee. The reason why it's 14 days is because those first 2 weeks are so fire that, one, if you don't like it, if you don't like that, you're not gonna like the whole course. I know that for sure. And another thing is that those first 2 weeks, are things that even if you purchase it and you get your money back, you could keep that part and it'll actually help you out for the rest of your life. I am so sure about this. So if you're somebody that goes through neediness, if you have an insecure attachment style or ambivalent attachment style, or if you keep repeating certain behavior and you cannot stop being needy, this is the course for you people. All right? Anyways, I'll see you guys later.